about whether you are right or wrong. I have been a leader of a MARD agitation for a long time. I know that no doctor here has time to even think of something else other than their food and work and sleep. Okay, nobody comes out to strike like this at this level of junior doctor. We have enough work, and so unless somebody is throttled into a corner and somebody is pushed into a corner, we don't go on strike like this. So I know your side, you don't have to explain it to me. But there are also, I am upset with the High Court judgment that we got yesterday. At the same time, I don't want any of you to suffer your career problems. Okay. First thing that I like, the list of things that you should ask for. First thing is that wherever you go, you are asked for your identity, right? Yes. You are asked for PAN card, driving license. Hereafter, you should demand that anybody gaining entry into Sassoon hospital or any hospital should be showing their ID, recording their name, taking their picture, then only allow the patient and the relative. Not more than one relative per patient. If the patient is serious, not more than two relatives. If more than two relatives are allowed in the casualty, you will deny to see the patient. I will stand in the court. I will be the first to stand in the line of punishment, because if your life is at risk, you cannot treat patient freely. Your decisions will change. If you have to make right decisions for the patient, you can't make them under threat. You understand? First thing, unless there is an identity, you should the relative and patient should not be allowed. Secondly, the relative and patient coming inside the casualty the relative should not be more than two. Third, there should be a breathalyzer. Driving people have, the traffic police has breathalyzer. If somebody is drunk, they should not be allowed in the hospital. Fourth one, at the first instance, there should be a notice in every casualty, outside every hospital, at the first instance of the relatives being threatening or violent or impolite or in any manner suggesting that they don't trust the doctor, the resident doctor should immediately leave casualty. It is not his responsibility. We are not bound to treat it. Only if the patient has trust in us, we want to do good to the patient. We don't want to do anything wrong. And the main thing that you should ask for before any of these things is it is not your job to explain and convince the relatives about emergency. There has to be a third person that is to be appointed by the government. You are not facing the relatives. You are not facing the impolite people, drunk people. You are not facing the mobs. Let the mob be outside the casualty. Not more than one relative be allowed with the patient. These are the first few basics that you should ask. Remaining basics will sit down in here. There is a long list of basics I have in mind. You should have bouncers. You should have paid bouncers. Let MARD pay for that. You can collect and pay 5,000 rupees a month. There should be a paid bouncer. Either ask your dean to pay it, either ask the government to pay it, but there should be a paid bouncer. You cannot deal. We are not trained in karate classes and gyms, you know. We are trained in schools and merit lists and all. So we cannot deal with people who are impolite, who are on the verge of fighting and drunk. We cannot deal with them, and we cannot simultaneously treat the patient. Not only does this mob or drunken person interfere with his own patient's treatment, he interferes with the other three patients in the casualty who deserve better treatment. So hereafter, not more than two people may it be political leader or any minister or anybody, not more than two people allowed, drunken people not allowed, bouncers in casualty. And first you ask for the amendment that if you feel that anybody is threatening, no court can force you to treat some patient under threat. You cannot treat her. So say that I am unable. You give an undertaking, a common undertaking from MARD to every dean, okay? That if we are under threat, we cannot make right decisions, so we will not be able to treat the patient under threat. The moment we realize that patient or the relative is threatening, we will leave the casualty. Nobody can punish you for that.